Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our webcast, Extraordinary Sights of Alaska. My name's Brian Murray, the Director of Travel here at AAA, and I'm delighted you chose to spend some time with us this afternoon to learn all about Alaska. Unfortunately, with the pandemic this season, Alaska is kind of a skip season this year, which is very disappointing. But the good news is there's going to be so much to see today that we're going to get everyone interested in traveling to Alaska next season. So we have a great program planned for you. A couple of housekeeping things before we get started. I want to let everyone know that you're in listen-only mode. If you do have questions, feel free to type them in the question box, and we will entertain questions at the end of the program. Additionally, from AAA, in addition to other promotions and offerings that you'll hear about today, AAA is offering an additional $100 savings on new Princess Alaska and Alaska Tour bookings for 2021 made before October 15th. So a little enticement to get people interested in that as well. So Alaska is a wonderful destination. I can't wait to share it with all of you. And to do that, we have Debbie Hagee, who is a business development manager with Princess Cruises, who has been up in Alaska. Well, I'll let her share that, but many times. So without further ado, Debbie, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for everyone for spending a part of your afternoon. This is my favorite destination. I've been very fortunate to have been with Princess for well over 23 years now, and traveling for work or for business up here has been a pure pleasure. And there's still questions that I still won't be able to answer if you have some tough ones, but I feel confident that the agents at AAA will be able to assist you in picking out one of these fabulous vacations that we've got for you. It is a short season in Alaska. Hold on for me, I'm just having some difficulties here with the screen. Okay, there we go. What we're going to talk about today is why Princess to Alaska, because there are some other cruise lines up there. I'm also going to be talking about the geography of Alaska and the land and sea vacations and how everything fits together for you. And we are a cruise line, but we also own 5 custom-built lodges in Alaska. And I'm going to show you how it all fits together. We have been #1 in Alaska for 14 straight years. In fact, we've been in Alaska. Next year will be our 52nd year traveling to this great destination. We put everything together for you. If you're interested in land and sea vacations, it's going to be the 7-night cruise, and then we own our own rail cars, and we have the motor coaches, and everything fits together for a very seamless vacation. One of the most important things you can ask yourself, there's going to be a few questions for you to answer. The first one is, do you want to see the interior of Alaska, or are you just interested in the cruise? If you're interested in just the cruise, we offer 2 options right here. We've got a 7-night round-trip Seattle cruise, and then out of San Francisco, we offer a 10-night cruise round-trip. But if you wanted to do the land and the sea, this is the option that you would select. You would be leaving from Vancouver and going to Anchorage, or it would be reversed, flying into Anchorage and taking the cruise and then coming back from Vancouver. Those options are what we consider to be, we call the Voyage of the Glacier cruises, and those will connect to the land. Round trip Seattle and round trip San Francisco will not get you to the interior. How it all fits together, if you want to do land and sea, is it would be sail for 7 nights on the Voyage of the Glaciers cruise. So those one-way itineraries I just talked about. One segment of your trip, your travel, would be on our exclusive Princess rail cars. And then you would stay at the lodges near the national parks, the Princess Lodges. If you were going to do the cruise first, we consider that to be a northbound sailing. So you would fly from Syracuse, Rochester, or Buffalo to start your cruise in Vancouver. You would be on that 7-night Voyage of the Glaciers cruise. You'll have, once you're off the ship, then we take you via train on the Princess direct to the Wilderness Rail service. And then we'll take you right to our lodges where you could spend 3 or more nights on land at the Princess Lodges. If you're going to be doing southbound, which means you would fly to either Fairbanks or to Anchorage, depending on which one of the tours that you selected. You'd be on the land 3 or more. When it says or more, it means up to 8 nights. So it could be 3 nights, 4 nights, 5, 6, 7, or 8 at the lodges. And then we're going to take you via the direct to the Wilderness Rail service right to the cruise. And you would board that ship in Anchorage, and then you would come home from Vancouver. So this may be helpful. It puts things together for you a little bit. So you would fly, if we were doing northbound, we would fly you into Vancouver, and then you would be traveling through the Inside Passage up to Ketchikan, and then to Juneau, and then to Skagway. Every one of these itineraries on this 7-night Voyage of the Glacier cruises will take you into Glacier Bay National Park. And most importantly, on Princess, you have 2 glacier viewing days. If we were traveling northbound, we would keep going from Glacier Bay National Park, and then we would also have a glacier viewing day in College Fjord. If we were going opposite, if we were doing land first and then the cruise, the second glacier viewing day would be in Hubbard Glacier, and then of course Glacier Bay and all the other ports. So 2 full glacier viewing days on this 7-day itinerary. Now let's take a look. We right where Princess docks. Princess docks the ship right here in Whittier, Alaska. There we go. Whittier, Alaska, and you'll note that Whittier is located on the rail system, which is key. The other cruise lines will dock on the Kenai Peninsula down in Seward, Alaska, and to go from Seward to Anchorage, it's 110 miles or 4 hours on Alaskan Highway to get there. The Princess passengers are right there on the rail system already because of our location in Whittier. And I'm going to show you a slide or two of Whittier. So we would cross the street and we would head right up, board the train, and then we can get you all the way up to Denali National Park, where you'd be staying at the Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge in the same day. That journey on the rail right there between Whittier to Denali can be between 8 to 9 hours of a breathtaking scenery on our trains. So let's take a look at the lodges. So right here at the gates of Denali National Park is the Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge. We are the closest lodge to the park, a short 15-minute stroll inside the park, or we have complimentary shuttle service to take you in. At the south side of the park, right here, we've got the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge, and those are the 2 lodges on the rail system. Over here, right at the gates of Wrangell St. Elias National Park, we've got the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge. And down on the Kenai Peninsula, we've got the Kenai Princess Wilderness Lodge. So the land can be, as I said, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 nights, and then the cruise is 7. But we put the whole packages together for you. And AAA can get into a lot more detail than I will here, but it just depends on how much time can you be gone. There are 26 different tours, plus the 2 exclusive tours that AAA has for their members. So the agents will go through some of the choices, but how they eliminate some of these tours, so you're not looking at 26, is that they will ask you, how long can you be gone? So one thing you might want to consider is a good average would be 4 to 5 nights on the land with the 7-night cruise. And here we are sailing through the Inside Passage. I show this because I want, for those people that haven't cruised, I want them to see how close we are to land as we're going through that Inside Passage. Just breathtaking scenery. Actually, in the past, over 50% of our passengers in this destination were first-time cruisers. And it's after they've done their research, they found that cruising really is the best and the easiest way to get around the state. Cruising through the Inside Passage is spectacular. You will see whales all through the Inside Passage, and we actually have whale spotters up on the bridge deck, and the officer in charge will make announcements if whales are spotted, or when the whales are spotted. The ports of call on the majority of these cruises: Juneau, which is the capital of Alaska; Skagway, which is where all the gold rush era charm began; and Ketchikan is the salmon capital. Here's the state of Alaska, the capital of Alaska, and this city is so interesting. It boasts towering mountains as a backdrop, but those mountains also prohibit people that live there, the residents, from driving out of the state capital. They can only leave the state capital by water or by air. And right outside of the city, this is the Mendenhall Glacier, and there'll be many, many different shore excursions to take you out there. This is one of my favorite ports, Skagway. It's home to only 800 year-round residents, but in the summer it becomes alive. And this is where the miners went to purchase their equipment to go up the Chinook Trail to search for their fortune in gold. And this is the scenery that is right outside of the city of Skagway, just minutes outside. And here is Ketchikan. And Ketchikan embodies the rich native Alaskan heritage. The Princess ships are docked only 5 blocks from this little area here. This is called Creek Street. And it used to be, at one time, it used to be the red light district. So full of saloons and brothels and I'm sure good times back there. But today, where we dock, and it's very important to note that the Princess ships do dock in Alaska. They do not drop anchor in the harbor as many cruise lines do, and then have you tender in. We're here so you can easily walk on and walk off the ships as much as you would like. And right across the street here, there is a great lumberjack show too that I recommend. And this is Glacier Bay National Park. And the state of Alaska only allows 2 ships per day into Glacier Bay National Park, and this is done by permit only, and it's 1 ship at a time into Glacier Bay. Just magnificent, beautiful scenery. At the entrance of Glacier Bay, we slow down ever so slightly, and a pilot boat will come right up and cruise in tandem with us, and we will open a door down on deck 3, and we will throw a rope over to the park rangers. And as we are cruising into Glacier Bay, they'll be joining us up on the pool deck area with a microphone, so you'll be able to hear them. And they'll be explaining what you are seeing as you're seeing it that moment. If you're in your cabin, you may wish to just relax a little bit. If you've got a balcony, there's nothing better than to sit on a balcony with one of our wool-rich blankets there and just watch that scenery go by. But you would be able, if you were in your cabin, you would be able to hear the park rangers just by turning on the designated TV channel. And just beautiful scenery. And if we were going cruise after the land, this would be our second glacier viewing day, Hubbard Glacier, and this is more than 6 miles wide. If we were doing cruise first, we would have our second glacier viewing day as College Fjord, and that's home to 16 of the Ivy League glaciers. Princess brings more of Alaska on board than any other cruise line. And how do we do that? Well, we don't wait to get you there to immerse you in the destination. What we do is, if you've gone fishing, a fishing charter with us, and you will catch something, whether it be salmon, trout, or halibut, we bring that fish back to the ship for you. And that evening, it'll be prepared for you in our dining rooms. And that program is called Cook My Catch. In the left-hand corner, the blonde woman right there with the dog, her name is Libby Riddles. And Libby won, she's the first woman that won the Alaskan Iditarod. And Libby comes on board every one of our ships in Juneau. She does a beautiful presentation on the Iditarod. And she's been known to bring a dog or two with her that day. It's usually late afternoon, and we're in Juneau till 10 o'clock. So you come back to the ship, drop off packages, go see Libby, and then head back out. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, those are the park rangers that we bring on in Glacier Bay. We also have 2 naturalists that reside aboard our ships during the summertime, and they are doing presentations, and they are out and walking around and explaining what you're seeing too firsthand. And one of my favorites, this is puppies in the piazza area. And we bring the pups on board every time one of our ships goes into Skagway. And they're in the main atrium or the ship's lobby. And we have them corralled in one little area, and you can go and play with them and touch them, learn what they eat, learn how they train for the Alaskan Iditarod. We signed several years ago with both these 2 famous brands, Animal Planet and Discovery. And wherever you see their logos, you'll know that the program, whether it's the onboard program or our shore excursions, they have been created and or endorsed by these 2 famous brands. This is a picture of Whittier, Alaska. Right here, if you follow my cursor, if you can see it right there, you can make out the top of the train car, that glass dome car. And now you can see how close it is. If you've ever been to the AAA office on International Drive, you'll know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's just as close to your car into the office. That is how close those rail cars are. So if we were doing cruise first, we would be assigned to a car. You can see the A, B, C's. So everyone that was going to the Denali Princess might be in car A and B, and possibly McKinley. If you were doing McKinley Princess Lodge first, you might be in car C. Once we have everyone loaded, we're able to take off from Whittier. There is room for only 1 ship in Whittier. So it's all princess passengers, if we were doing the land first, we would have just gone right down to the ship that day. So here we are. This gives you a closer look at it too. You can see that all of our rail cars have got outdoor viewing areas and the upstairs area. And there we are leaving Whittier. Gives you an idea of how close it is. And here's the upstairs of the train cars. You'll notice, of course, we're not like an airline. There's no overhead compartments. And so your carry-on bag has to fit underneath your seat. And remember, we're going to be on this. If we were leaving from the ship to Denali, we would be on this rail car 8 to 9 hours. Downstairs is our dining car area, where everything is freshly prepared for you. And the luggage is trucked separately and taken to your stateroom at the lodge. So the luggage does not go on the train with you. And here we are at the Princess Denali Wilderness Lodge. You're going to see a lot of similarities with our lodges. Every one of our lodges is situated by riverbanks, and they all have multiple dining areas for you, whether it's inside or outside. Beautiful interior fireplaces, fire pits outside for you. Gorgeous, big, huge windows, so you can look out that window and see the scenery. Everyone who stays at our Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge will have a tour included into Denali National Park. Now, there's two types of tours into Denali National Park. The natural history tour is 4.5 hours into the park, guided tour. And there is, for folks that wish to go longer into the park, we have what we call the Tundra Tour. And the Tundra Tour is 8 to 9 hours to the park. In order to do the longer tour into the park, the Tundra Tour, you have to be staying at the Denali Princess Lodge for 2 nights. It will not work just for 1 night. And here's an idea of the park and where it would go. So the natural history tour, you come in here, and then there's several stops along the way, and there's guides waiting for you right there, but it'll take you down to mile 30. The Tundra Tour will take you, as I said, deeper into the park, and it'll take you to mile marker 62. And of course, multiple stops, boxed lunch that day, and guides waiting for you right at the stops. So it just depends on how long you want to be there. And the Park Service does limit how many passengers we can have that go back to the Tundra Tour. Here we are at the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge. This lodge is unique because she's only 41 miles away from the base of Mount McKinley. So, and hopefully you'll get a good picture that day, a good clear picture of the mountain. But again, similarities, the fireplaces, the fire pits, multiple places to dine. If you watch Animal Planet, they have got a segment, you might be able to find it on Netflix. Treehouse Masters is a program, and they built a treehouse here at our Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge. And it's just a short walk away from the main lodge. Here's the Kenai Princess Wilderness Lodge on the Kenai Peninsula. And this is one of our smaller properties. There's only 86 rooms here. And this is a little bit different because this lodge has the screened-in porch. It's got the wood-burning stove and then the bedroom. But again, always the lodges are situated by the riverbanks. So that's the back of the deck. Here we are at the Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge, right at the gates of Wrangell St. Elias National Park. And that national park, it became a national park in 1983, and it's home to 9 of the 16 highest peaks in the United States. And we're very, very close. The location is a great location if you wanted to explore the Kennecott historical mines. It's a great tour that's there. And the Park Service has put a visitor center here at our Copper River Lodge. And this is the view from the back of the deck at that lodge. People often ask me, when's the best time to go? When should I go? Well, number one, it's a very short season in Alaska. We will start mid-May, about May 11th, and it will run till approximately September 10th for 2021. So a short season. You know, I was up there 2 years ago, and I was at the Denali Princess Lodge and in May, and it was low 70s that day. So, you know, the temperatures are all just, I think, changing. But here's the average temperatures. If you wanted to go to see the whales you will see from May to September, no problem, with peak whale spotting being in July. It less rain in May and June. And of course, if you wanted to see the foliage change, which is beautiful with the when the colors are reflected in the inside passage, that would be late August till September to see the fall foliage. If you wanted daylight, the most daylight you can have, it would be June and July when we've got 22 hours of daylight then. If your wish was to see the northern lights, you'd want to go as late as possible. And I do recommend going northbound because every day you would lose a little bit more daylight. And when you get to our lodges, we do have a wake-up call at our lodges. If you just let us know that you're interested in that. If we have someone that spotted the northern lights, we'll give you a call and have you come out and join the party. If you're interested in seeing wildlife, you will all season long. With the peak time to see it, the easiest time is May and June, primarily because some of the animals have been hibernating. And for another good reason here is the daylight, the amount of daylight will make a big difference because the foliage won't be as deep as it will be in July and August. They can't hide as easily then because there's just not as much greenery hiding them. If you wanted to go fishing, of course, all season long with peak being June and July. And if you were interested in taking advantage of our off-peak pricing, I would recommend May and September. If you're traveling with families, of course, you're going to be traveling when they're not in school, so that would be June, July, and August. Princess Plus. Princess Plus is a new program that we announced in March of this year, which made our cruise all-inclusive. And there's no deadline on this. Some offers have deadlines. This is just our ongoing offer. Princess Plus includes our all-inclusive beverage package. And what does that mean? What's in that? Well, that means we're going to have bottled water, fountain sodas, specialty coffees, smoothies, alcoholic beverages, all included in the price of your cruise. And we will also include the gratuity that goes on to that package. We have unlimited Wi-Fi for our guests, and the gratuities are paid to the crew under the Princess Plus program. If you were not interested in any of the benefits of the Princess Plus, the other low fare option is called Princess Savers. So that would not include the beverage package, the Wi-Fi, and you'd be paying for your own gratuities to the crew. So those are the two options, all inclusive or no thanks, I just want the lowest price. If you've served in the military, we would like to thank you for your service. And one time only, you will have to provide a copy of your DD-214 to your AAA agent, and they will send it to us, and it will be attached to your guest number. And every time you sail with us, we will have onboard spending money for you as our thank you. On the 7-night cruise, we would like to honor you with $100 of spending money. We have got a promotion that's going on until November 2nd. It's called our Upgrade Away Sale. And what does that mean? That means if you were getting a balcony cabin, which I do recommend for this destination, if you were going to be in a balcony cabin, we would place you in the highest category available for a balcony, but you would pay for the lowest balcony cabin. So it's a several $100 savings on the Upgrade Away Sale. Also, one other thing, anytime that you purchase a Princess Cruise through a AAA, we have a package called AAA Vacations for you. And AAA Vacations means that we will have onboard credit for you to spend. It would be, in this case, on a 7-day cruise, it would be an additional $50 of onboard spending money. And it would be vouchers delivered to your cabin for the specialty dining that we have on board. And we have 2 restaurants on board with specialty dining. That would be our Italian style or our steakhouse. So those would be delivered right on board, and those are a value of $29 per person if you were to purchase them once you were on board. But with AAA, they are complimentary. So that is my last slide for today. I can't see if there's any questions. Brian, are there any questions for me?
Thank you, Deb. Wow, you painted a great picture, and Princess has so much to offer on the programs in Alaska. There are a couple that came through. One of them is, do you recommend doing the land first and then the cruise, or the cruise first and then the land, if you were going to do the combination cruise tour?
Well, I always recommend to people that they have their AAA advisor price out both ways, because there definitely is a strong advantage to doing the land first. The land first means if I was flying from Buffalo and I was starting my journey in Fairbanks or Anchorage, depending on the tour, I would have that long flight out of the way. And then I would be on the land and then come home from Vancouver. That sells the fastest for us from the north and the southeast because of that long flight, but it's also more expensive. I recommend doing the cruise first. I know for me personally, right before I go on vacation, it's very, very hectic, and I'm trying to get a lot of things done and taken care of before I go. So once I get on the ship, I'm able to relax for 7 days. And then I'm ready to tackle the land, which could be moving 3 times. So I'm much more relaxed to tackle the land after that. And I think the scenery changes as you're going the cruise first. The scenery keeps changing, and the scenery gets more and more dramatic as I get north. So I have done it both ways. The disadvantage by doing the cruise first and then the land is that you would then have the longer flight to come home. But it is a personal choice. But again, it's typically $300 to $400 more per person to do the land first on the same tour.
Great, thank you. Another question came in. When's the best time to book?
The best time to book, sadly, as you mentioned in the beginning, Brian, we had to cancel our entire 2020 season for the first time in the history of Princess. And all of those people that were booked were displaced. Some of them moved to 2021. Some are looking for 2022. So we started out with a very good base of passengers for our 2021 season. So that being said, with all of the offers that we've got, whether it's Princess Plus, the AAA offer that you're going to do with the $100 off, the Upgrade Away Sale, now is the time to book it. I would suggest strongly taking a look at it and pricing it out and choosing one or two of the tours and speaking to your AAA representative.
Yeah, that's great. And there is a pent-up demand for travel, and people are interested with the season that was, totally canceled, for lack of a better term, due to the pandemic. People are interested in next year, and now's the time to get the best, best accommodations. And you know what? Then you don't have to worry about it. Your vacation's planned, and you're all set. So that's great. I do have another one, Deb, and that is the upgrade away sale, which is really terrific with the Princess Plus program. Does that include everyone in the cabin, or is it for the first two in the stateroom? How does that work for the stateroom occupants?
Yes, if you were traveling in a stateroom and you had 3 or 4 passengers in that cabin, Princess Plus is for all 4 of the guests in the room. Of course, obviously, if they're minors, we're not going to be giving them the all-inclusive beverage package. So you may want to switch passengers number 3 and 4 down to Princess Savers, depending on the age of the guests. But it is for all 4, definitely. And
Great.
one other thing I'd like to mention is that during the month of October, for AAA members, we have reduced the deposit. The deposit is typically $200 per person to hold a tour, a stateroom. And during the month of October, it is only $100 per person, fully refundable up to 75 days before the cruise. So that's the whole month of October for that.
Wow, that's great. That that really is a great advantage. So that's terrific. So it looks like those are all the questions we had. So that tells me you did an unbelievable job. I can't wait to go. My bags are. I do want to remind everybody. Many of our associates have been to Alaska. They know the ins and outs of booking the best cruise tour vacation up in Alaska with Princess. So do give them a call. We're available. Our branches are open with limited staffing, but we also have virtual travel planning from the comfort of your home. We do video conferences to share photos and brochures with you and get that vacation planned. So again, with all the promotions out there, the additional $100 savings, we want to make it available for you when you want to travel. Obviously, we can't go to Alaska now, but really trying to start the discussion. So give us a call, send your travel consultant an email. We really want to help you plan that vacation for next year. So thank you all for attending. And Deb, thank you for a great program. I'm excited and want to get up there as well. So thanks so much for your time this afternoon.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Thanks for everyone for joining us too.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you again. Bye-bye.